Okay, so there's this thing, a note launcher, which is gonna be basically in the game. It goes into kind of like a Guitar Hero tap tap revenge mode, and you got notes kind of going across the screen, and you have to touch them. All the notes correlate, or they have corresponding blocks, but you'll see that later. Looking at like the timing of each note when you hit it. If you didn't time it correctly, it'll give you less points, and if you miss it entirely, it'll actually give you negative points. So it should be kind of neat. It's loading in from XML. I'm gonna have I just have really three main clumps of data to load in. You have the background elements like you saw in the editor, the potential piece data, which was also the blocks in the editor. You have note data, which is new. All the music in the game where it goes into that rhythm-based mode, it's all gonna have a file that's associated with it, with all the note data, all the timing of the notes, and the key that the note's in. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna work on for the next couple days. It should take me a while, but it'll be fun. This is good tea. Good tea.
And,
Tyler right now.
yeah, I was gonna say. So Ty, what part of the game are you working on right now?
Yeah, research and development.
Okay. So what are you researching right now?
I'm researching Totodile. It's you'll find out later on that
When it evolves into like a croconaut or whatever at level 16. Is
well,
that when
no,
we're
I
gonna
already
find
knew
out?
that, but
Is that?
you're gonna find out later on. This relates to that somehow. I mean, I know how, but you don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I just gained a level. Wow, I'm kicking ass.
Oh. Well,
The blocks are gonna have pocket monsters inside of them, and when they explode, it goes into a battle system mode. This is after the rhythm-based mode.
This is the game Beat Monsters.
This is the content that you have to pay for.
It's the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC.
Exactly.
I mean, the game itself is pretty good on its own, but
I mean, it's not like $15 extra good. I mean,
yeah, and
Which
with
is
this,
how much that
downloadable content's gonna be $15 extra, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get sued by Nintendo for how awesome it is. They're gonna be like, "Wait, you're too awesome."
That's not good.
they're gonna buy us out.
Yeah, they're gonna try to buy us out,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be like, "But we're poor. Why would we accept your money?" And then they're like, "Okay, you're right. Here's a free Pikachu." And we're like, "They do exist." They have a Pokemon Dokapon. You didn't know about it yet, but
A Poképon?
it's coming.
It's Poképon Kingdom.
Poképon Kingdom is gonna be the greatest game. That's all. That's it. It's the greatest game. Poképon Kingdom. Look for it. Never.
It's like got ourselves a pretty busy schedule ahead of us, and
Oh, I just did a bunch of shit, but there's no footage of it right now. Yeah, it's funny. The camera's never there when I'm actually doing the work. It's usually just there to be like, oh yeah, that happened, and it did. Okay, so I've been working on various different outlets, including my computer with the Wacom tablet, and over at the school I've been working on the Cintiqs there, expensive drawing tablet tools. If you're not familiar with them, they're also made by Wacom, but they are touch sensitive to a pen stylus. So it's a touch screen, and you can just pretend as though it were an actual piece of paper. And the results you get are pretty good. You can control like thick to thin lines, which I'm not really using in this anyway. But what I did in this next run, you'll see a video of me drawing a block. I've done many revisions on this block because each time I have a new obstacle that I didn't account for, or that I just wasn't clear to me for whatever reason. And so originally what we were doing is we were resizing down sprites from 64 by 64 size down to 32 by 32, and I was making some really detailed sprites, and so when I shrunk them down, it just wasn't really clear what was going on, and I could have tried to clean it up, but ultimately it just made more sense for me to just redo the whole thing and try to make it read on a 32 by 32 scale. So I redrew everything 32-bit blocks, and I think it looks a lot nicer. I'll show these examples.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the old example, of course, of the one that was really too detailed, that probably won't be in the game. And I think with the simpler blocks, it'll be a lot easier to tell what exactly you're looking at. Not that you really need to see what's inside the block, but I mean, it's better than looking at just a little explosion of colors.
Yeah, those older ones are actually in the demo that I showed, but I'll replace those pretty soon.
It doesn't matter. I mean, it's all in progress, and I'm constantly figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and a lot of that's just trial and error and figuring out that sort of thing. So if you're ever in the business of making games and things, expect to make a lot of changes and expect there to be a lot of critique and feedback, so that you'll have to do those sort of things. You very rarely get it right on the first time.
Just an endless loop of iterations.
What? I think this time it's going to work. I'm pretty confident about it.
Yeah, I was just joking about the endless part.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah.